we'll be creating two scenarios here. The first is creating a new file, creating artwork for a symbol, converting it to a symbol, and then of course animating that symbol. Our second scenario will be when we already have a created animation, realize we need to create a symbol and choose to build the artwork for the symbol inside the symbol. So it's two approaches to creating symbols. To create a symbol, first create a piece of the art. So in this case, I'm going to create a tire or a wheel. So I'm drawing out the circle. Now, if you notice, there's color in the stroke and there's color in the fill. If I want an outline, I maintain the stroke color. If not, I shut it off. To do that, I need to either click solely on the stroke and delete it, or come over to the stroke color selector and select the red line. Now, I do want to change the color of my wheel. I'll become more realistic and use a dark charcoal color. Next, I'm going to create what would appear to be a hubcap, and I can either come right into the circle and click and drag, but of course I need to be very precise with the placement of it, or I could have created that hubcap outside and dragged it in. Either way, I've now got some art that is looking like a wheel. If I were to rotate the wheel, having everything circular and symmetrical, you wouldn't actually notice that it is spinning or rotating. So you need to put some sort of detail in your design to give it something to show movement as you rotate it around. Okay, and of course all my little lug nuts are slightly off, and none are exactly the same shape, and you will definitely see this rotate because there's nothing symmetrical about that design anymore. Okay, all the art is collected or created. I'm selecting it all at this point, and I'm going to right click and turn it into a symbol, convert to symbol. There's 3 different kinds of symbols: movie clip, and that's for art that you will be moving, which we will be moving this tire. There's also a button, which is a piece of art that allows you to navigate from place to place, whether it's navigating from animation to animation or from animation to a web page. And graphic, that would be still art. So we're going with a movie clip. You want to label them so that when they are created as symbols and placed over to the right in your library, it's easy to know what is what, organized. Name your files, name your layers, and name your symbols so that they are easy to know what's in them. Click OK, and I have my first piece of art in the library. I do not need to create any more wheels now, because once I have that symbol in the library, I can use it as many times as I want within the animation without enlarging it. So I've created my symbol. I can resize it using this transform tool to whatever size I need. But if I want it to resize proportionally, I'm going to hold the shift key down when I click and drag so that it doesn't get out of shape. Okay. Next, we'll cover the situation where you might have already started an animation, such as this car, and realized you need a symbol. And the approach would be different this time. So right now, there's a couple of shape tweens identified with the green, and then of course a couple of frames that are simply held. The body of the car and the headlight once it's animated on. So now I'm realizing I need to have a layer for my wheels. So first of all, I create a layer, a new layer, and I'm locking all the others so I don't accidentally work on those. And I need to create my wheel. Now, I could just simply build all the layers right here in the animation, or I can just create one part of the art, right click, convert it to a symbol. It's going to be a movie clip. Label it wheel, click OK. In this case, I'm not done creating the look of the wheel, but I do have a piece of art that is a symbol, and I'm going to edit that piece of art. So if you notice right now, we're in the main scene with the main timeline. To edit this piece of art, I'm going to double click. I'm now in a timeline only for the wheel. You notice we've left the regular scene and gone to wheel. I can click on scene 1 to get back to the regular timeline, and now I see the blue box with the target in the middle that signifies symbol. And to edit again, I just double click, go in. So in this case, I could now build my wheel with all of its details inside. I could again come in, get my little hubcap, which of course is not centered, give myself a few details so that I will notice it actually rotating. And I'm going to jump back out to the scene. And I've now got a symbol to go with this car. I've only used it once. And I think we'll give our second layer for the wheels. Wheel 2. Okay, so wheel 1 has the original symbol. I'm identifying a span of frames for the motion tween. And I'm going to rotate it a few times from start to end. And now on the second layer, I'm just dragging from the library. Again, I'm going to put it in place, identify a span of frames with a motion tween, and rotate them. And since the first one had 11, it probably makes sense to do both of them 11, unless you're getting a little creative. Let's test it. Okay, wheels are rotating, lights are animated, and the animation can continue. So there's a couple approaches here. First, create the regular symbol in its own animation, then build the rest of the animation. Or if you're already mid-build, then you can create a piece of the artwork, edit it, and while editing it, create the rest of the look.